been a hot minute, but I am back. I have some friends where I live at that are wanting to learn how to make this granny square block. So that is what I'll be showing you how to do today. Alrighty, so the first thing we're going to do is cut out our white squares that are going to go all the way around the border. All my blocks are 2.5-inch blocks. So I'm just going to cut a set of strips at 2.5 inches. Right here. Got that put away. But life is slowed down just a little bit, so I thought I would come back. My mom is actually want to learn how to sew, so I thought this would be a great time to come back, upload videos for her to watch, so she can learn how to sew, which is really fun. That'll give me and my mom something to talk about and think about, because I love quilting. I don't crochet as much anymore as what I did. I've actually took up quilting a whole lot more. My grandma is a quilter, and she makes quilts every year for everybody for Christmas. So just like with the white fabric, my grandmother's flower garden has only 3 colors. This is for a baby blanket, because this is what I just recently made. So I only got 3 colors. So of your 3 colors, you're going to cut 2.5-inch strips and then subcut those into 2.5-inch squares. And just like with the white one, I'm going to flip this over, trim off my selvages. And then I'm going to subcut to 2.5 inches. All right, now that I have all of my squares cut out, now it is time to assemble the block. And it's very important on how you lay out this granny square blanket. Because trust me, if you don't lay it out or have somewhere to lay it out and you think you know what you're doing, you'll make mistakes. I have picked apart many rows thinking I would be all right with not laying out my squares. That was not a good idea. So I do one square at a time. I do not lay out a whole bunch, because that is when I start messing up. So it does take me a little bit longer, but the end result is still the same. It's a very, very pretty quilt block. I have seen this quilt block everywhere, and I've always wanted to make one. So it was trial and error on what sizes would work together, what looked the best. And this is perfect for jelly rolls, because jelly rolls are 2.5-inch strips. So I have this little notebook that I write down all of my patterns, things that I've drawn up that I want to do. I just finished that quilt. I can't wait to show y'all one day. But this is how my brain works, trying to figure out a pattern. So I just drawed it out how I wanted it, figured up what sizes everything needed to be. On the finished quilt that I've done, I had put sashing on in between each block and cornerstones in each corner. And it turned out to be a very cute little baby blanket. So now we're going to start sewing our blocks together. So what I'll do is I'll just pick up these 2 squares, sew them together, pick up these, sew them, and so on and so forth. I have a little fabric bunny on my sewing machine that tells me that's whenever I have started, restarted over with my rows. Alrighty, so I just sewed my last set of squares in this pattern, so I'm just going to run my thread bunny through. That way I know this was the first one that I started with. So I know the quilt police are going to come for me, but I like to press my seams open if I can. I hand quilt all of my quilts, so it does make it a lot easier if the seams are pressed open instead of all to one side. So I'm just going to grab my next block that's at the very top. I'm going to put it there to the side. And start stitching all over again. Now we're fixing to move to the most important step, I think, of making any quilt is ironing and setting the seams. Alrighty, so we're going to set the seams. Like I said, I press mine open. You can use steam. Everybody recommends steam. I don't, because my iron is so old that sometimes it stains the fabric when I steam, so I just use heat. And like I said, for me it's very important to iron my blocks every time I get one done. All right, now that we have all of our rows sewed together except for these two end pieces, I want to take row 2 to row 3. And this step really helps when you are lining up your seams like that. I like to just grab me a pin and pin that in place. That way I know it's not moving. Line up this one. That's pinned, and then I'm going to do the same one, this one to this one. Like I said before, it's been a while since I have done this, so I'm rusty, please forgive me. But I'm excited to come back, be able to talk to people about what I'm making, because I know my poor parents, my poor mother, I'm sure is tired of hearing me talk about all the quilts and sewing ideas and sewing projects that inspire me to make something for myself. So we're going to take these two sets and we're going to sew 1/4 of an inch all the way to there, from there to there, a little bit off the edge of these squares, and I will be back. All right, just like these seams, I'm going to press this seam open as well. That little part will get finicky, but it's okay because you're going to cut off some of that when you square up this block. Give that a good old press. And see, I'm not perfect. I don't want to be perfect. My granny's always said there needs to be some kind of imperfection in your quilt, because there's only one perfect person in this world, and that's the great creator himself. So I don't worry about it being perfect. I always say it's artistic liberty. You know, if your points don't match up perfect, that's okay. You just tell them you meant for it to be that way. There's nothing wrong with it. I ain't here to be the perfect teacher. I'm just here to help people kind of get an idea of how to sew. Alright, so now that we've got these two sets together, It's time to lay this one on here. Like I said, pin along your open seams. That way it does kind of nest a little bit better. I'm going to sew like this, open the seams, press it, and then we'll come back, flip this side over, pin at my seams, sew, press it open, and give it a good funnel press, and then I will come back to show you how I attach these two pieces. Alright, so I have almost all of the square finally put together. So now we're going to take our white square and place it right there, and then I'm just going to sew along 1/4 of an inch right here, and then flip this one over and do the same thing. So 1/4 of an inch. We'll get those pinned down. Really quickly. And then I'll bring y'all along to watch it stop. Alrighty, our last 2 squares. And then our granny square block will be complete. I'm so excited. I absolutely love this block. Alrighty, we have everything sewed together. We have it pressed. I have an 8.5 inch square ruler. I've had this forever. It's a Fiskars. So it's got these 2 orange lines right here. Makes a cross. That's what I use to put into the center of my square. And that is how I square up my blocks. Now, like I said, this is my way of doing it. I'm sure there is a better way. But to me, there is no right way or wrong way as long as you get the result that you want. So I'm going to start trimming off the edges. So unfinished, this block is 8.5 inches. Finished is 8. I am so glad I've decided to do this again. I cannot wait to hear back from all of y'all. Alrighty, and there is your granny square quilt block. If you have any questions, you can comment them. I will try my best to help answer them the best that I can. And if I don't know the answer, I can always go to my granny. And maybe she can help me answer your questions. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know this is my first video as a tutorial, so please forgive me if I have messed up anywhere. I'm just trying to relearn everything. So please like, share the video, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. And I will see y'all sometime. I don't know when I will record. It's just when I have the time to do it, I will make a video. I ain't gonna press myself to always make a video this many times a week or this many times a month. It's just whenever I feel like it. So I will tell you all goodbye. I cannot wait to hear from y'all. Can't wait to do this again. So until next time, I will see y'all later. Bye.